Welcome to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time in Wonderland podcast, Season 1, Episode 8, Home. I am your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And Rob Southgate.
All right, what'd you think of this episode, you guys?
I loved it!
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
I did not expect this kind of resolution.
No, this was big payoff.
I never in a million years expected to get these kinds of answers.
No.
Yeah.
And to see all of this happen. So should we jump in?
Okay, you want to know what I thought was weird?
What?
They said, when it told you, like, what the story would be about and stuff, they said that they would tell in a flashback, the origin story to Jeannie.
Yeah,
Right,
Cyrus's origin story.
They didn't really do that, although we did learn about Cyrus.
Well, okay.
And we learned about him with Alice, but we didn't see him as a kid like we did with Jafar.
The flashback they were referring to
Yeah.
was a flashback to when he and Alice were together.
Right.
Yeah.
And the origin story was what? About?
That he was immortal and then somebody wished him, somebody wished him to be, or he wished himself to be a genie.
Right.
Well, yeah, and we found out he has a mother.
Yeah.
And Alice said, I didn't know genies could have mothers. And was she a genie too? And he said, no, she was human. And I used to be human. And then Alice wanted to know if she was still alive. And he said, well, this compass has great magic and it points me to her. But a few years ago it stopped pointing. And so he's fearing that she's dead.
Yeah.
But for a long time, he knew that she was alive.
Well, when Cyrus and Alice were sitting there, they were just talking. Then all of a sudden, these guys came and captured.
Yeah, remember the sword right across his neck? That was all we knew, because we didn't know they were being captured. All of a sudden, we just saw a sword.
All of a sudden you saw that sword, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I thought that the guy from the angle they were at, the guy that captured him, looked like the Sultan, but it clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
But he kind of looked like him, and I thought, I was so confused.
So he
I
was
thought,
probably just one of Jafar's henchmen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't figure out what was going on there. Now I got it.
Yeah.
So one of the henchmen says to Cyrus, I'm not to be trifled with.
Right.
Okay, I have lots of favorite lines in this song.
Oh, this
of them?
one had so many good lines.
Okay, so what did he respond back with?
Unfortunately,
Neither is.
she.
And Alice
Attacks him.
Oh, she had that sword, and she just goes. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Except,
Well, I actually wrote here, Alice kicks butt
I did
in her
too.
pink dress.
I wrote
She
Alice
did.
kicks their butts, but then what did they do to her?
They slashed her across her tummy.
Yeah.
And so they thought that they ran off for no reason. They thought, well, this is weird. Why are they all running off? And then she looked down and clutched her
she was
stomach.
bleeding.
And so he picked her up, and where did he carry her?
To the White Rabbit's house. And we found out in this episode, he's 2 feet tall.
Right.
I always thought he was bigger than 2 feet.
Well,
he
he's
was
a
bigger.
rabbit.
He's a rabbit. Yeah, he's like the size of a
Rabbits are normally
jackrabbit.
This.
Right, rabbits would normally be like maybe a foot tall.
Yeah, he's a little bit more of
inches
a
or
magical rabbit, so he's a little
But
taller.
who did we get to meet in this episode?
We got to meet. Wait, who was it?
At White Rabbit's house.
His
we got to
wife
see-
and children.
I didn't know
we
he
got
was
to
married.
see White Rabbit's
Me
house,
neither.
which was a big thing too.
Yeah,
I
his
thought that
house was cool. I would live in that house. I thought his
too.
house was really cool.
And
Yeah.
they've got moldy carrots.
Okay, I don't want that. I don't like my carrots moldy.
So wait, before we go on there, this is where we had the intro, and we should have known what was going to happen, or what this was about, not what was going to happen, because what was featured in the intro, Molly?
The White Rabbit.
Yes, so we should have known this is going to be all about White Rabbit.
Well, and I thought that was strange because in all the other episodes, he's been important. In most of, like the last episode, he was critical.
Right,
like,
but this was
and I
his
thought,
story
interesting.
more.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I was trying to figure out why they were putting him in the intro, but now it makes.
Yeah, he was the
Because
focus because
they were telling us that he has a home,
Right.
that he has children, that he's married.
Well, and we found out why he's working for the Red Queen and Jafar, because the Red Queen was holding his family.
But I think it was Jafar, because the Red Queen turned nice.
Well,
but Jafar didn't know about her secret.
Right, she was holding his family,
house.
and that's where she was holding him in the secret little
So
house.
no, that was when she was being
a big bully.
Yeah, she was bad.
Okay,
and then she was upset that she just wanted the red knave.
Yeah,
that's all
right.
she wanted.
She was still in love. We didn't know that, did we?
Yeah.
Well, so wait, let's just talk about that for a second before we go on here. So at the end, we find out that the Red Queen, actually, the reason she did all of this is because she wanted Will back. She was working with Jafar because, as she put it, he can undo the magic then. He can break the laws of magic, and he can turn back time, and we can go back to where it was. So that's really interesting. It wasn't that she was trying to trick anybody or anything.
Yeah.
She wanted him to turn time back with that specific magic.
Well, and if you look at this episode, you've got Alice and Cyrus trying to get back together, just wanting to be together. You've got White Rabbit and his family trying to get back together.
Right.
You've got
the Red Queen just trying to get back.
Anastasia trying to get back with Will.
Yeah, and Will is not having any
And
of it.
you've got Jafar trying to get back with the bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Because he doesn't care about people. He just wants this bottle. But
Now, I want to address something else here real quick, because this was something that I've been confused on, and I think that I said it on the other podcast, was the Red Queen and who she is and how Anastasia became her. And I was saying, she's the Queen of Hearts, and how is this? And it wasn't making sense. Well, one of our listeners, who, unfortunately, we never know anybody's real name, it's Fate the Man.
on Twitter, right?
On Twitter, yep. Sent us a few tweets this week that were really important. They really explained things. This was really big, though. What he wrote was, or she, I'm assuming Fate the Man's a guy, is the Red Queen.
Fate the Man.
Right. The Red Queen and the Queen of Hearts are different characters in Once Upon a Time.
Oh.
So we haven't
gotten there yet, because
So
we're
we
only
don't
in
know
season
who
one.
The Queen of Hearts is.
Right. We know this is the Red Queen, but the Queen of Hearts is going to be somebody different, we have a
And
feeling.
so then the Knave of Hearts
Well, no.
could be attached to the
And
Queen
that's
of
where
Hearts.
we got that one wrong, too. We were saying it
Oh,
was
he's
the Knave of
the
Hearts.
Red Knave.
He's the Red Knave. And what Fate the Man wrote here is, the Knave's real name is the name of a Robin Hood character. So that's why
Will Scarlet.
The Red Knave, was with Robin Hood.
Oh.
So the Red Knave may have nothing to do with the Queen of Hearts or the Red Queen as far as the name.
And the Red Queen has nothing to do with the Queen of Hearts.
Right.
That we know of.
Wait!
Okay.
The Red Knave has something to do with the Queen of Hearts.
Why?
Because they're in love.
No, that's the Red Queen. Now we're getting mixed up.
The Knave and the Red Queen were the two that were in
But
love.
neither of them have anything to do with the Queen of Hearts.
Right, so the
That's
Queen
what
of
he's
Hearts
saying.
is going to be a different character.
Interesting. So we got to get further into Once Upon a Time in order to know that storyline.
Right.
Yeah. Wait,
So-
how? Because this is Wonderland.
No, but that's in the Once Upon a Time regular series, the other show.
Oh, in Once Upon a Time, they have the eighth one, I think, is called Home, too.
Oh, really?
Is it really?
I might be completely wrong, but one of them is called Home.
Okay.
You know what? If you're
Well, that's
completely wrong,
interesting.
then you are in the right family, because I am usually completely wrong.
But that's good, though,
Here's
that
a
you
secret.
noticed that.
Mom is usually completely wrong, too.
But
me
I don't know.
and Mom are usually.
I usually think I'm
me
right.
and Mom say, we're like, no, this is right. Together, we think the same thing is right. And you're like, no, that's right. And we don't believe you, and you turn out to be right.
Yeah, and then it makes me really sad.
I rule.
I don't like when he's right. Okay, so Alice and Will are watching the henchmen who are looking for Cyrus. And she says, I know where he's going. And so we all thought to his bottle. We thought
that's
he was
what I
trying to
assumed was
find
back
his
to his bottle.
bottle.
No.
No, where were they going?
Which seemed weird
To
because...
the house.
To the Outlands, where the invisible house is.
Well, the bottle seemed weird to me, even though that's what we all said it. It seemed weird to me because I was thinking, well, why would he be safe in the bottle? They could just take the bottle.
I was wondering the same thing when you said to his bottle.
Right, but it was the only place that
throwing you under the bus.
It was the only place we knew of that I was completely wrong. Welcome to the club. But it was the only place we knew of that was like his specifically. But now we know in the Outlands he has that magic place
ever exists.
And Mom loves the tub.
I do. I want to go in and the rugs and the fabric. I loved it. No, it's a claw-footed tub, and I love those.
Okay.
Aren't you afraid that claw-footed tub will walk away?
In Wonderland, yes. So, Alice and Will are going to the Outlands and
grow wings and fly.
There you go. But she wants to go to the White Rabbit's house first, and Will thinks she's completely nuts because he betrayed them. And why would you go there? We don't need his help. But she says they need him or they're going to be stuck in Wonderland.
Right.
So off they go. And what happens? What do they see when they get to the White Rabbit's house at that point?
They see moldy carrots.
Yeah, what does the outside look like?
It was gross.
Like all overgrown weeds. And so she thinks, he's trying to make it look like he doesn't live here anymore. Like nobody's home.
Yeah.
But she knew better.
And that's also not what it was. Do you know why it was so overgrown?
I ripped it.
Do you know why it was so overgrown?
Because the wife wasn't there to trim all the weeds and
That's
stuff.
right. She was the one, because there's no way the White Rabbit is that responsible. He's off being the White Rabbit. He's always late and doing weird stuff. So, yeah, with her not there, the outside is not looking too good.
So Alice kicks the door in, and they go inside.
She says, yes. And I love this line.
What?
This is my second favorite one that we've done so far. What? The Red Knave says to Alice, do you have any other plans where Cyrus, any other idea where Cyrus might be? And any other idea where we can find Cyrus? And Alice says, yes, and she kicks the door down.
Yeah. Where we could find where the rabbit might be.
Right.
Not Cyrus, but the rabbit. And she kicks the door in, and there's the rabbit.
There's the rabbit.
So Will was totally thinking, he's not in there.
He fell for it.
But she didn't. She knew better. And when they were inside, the White Rabbit felt really bad, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he felt that, he said, I've betrayed you all. And so she says, we need you to help get Cyrus and get all of us back home. And that's when the rabbit tells them that the queen has kidnapped his family and is holding them hostage. So Alice says, should we rescue them? And Will says, I'll help because I'm pretty sure I know where she's hiding them.
Right.
And so off they go to
the circus caravan.
Yes, exactly where they used to live.
I want to call it a circus caravan because that's about the only caravan I know.
Well, remember the caravan in the Toad one, with
Wind
Toadie.
in the Willows.
Wind in the Willows. Remember Mr. Toad? He gets the canary yellow caravan.
I thought that was a stagecoach.
No,
it's what this is.
It was a bright canary yellow caravan. Remember that until the sports car went by. Once the speeding car went by, he didn't want the caravan anymore.
Right,
he wanted to drive a car.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that when.
And then he steals somebody's car and he goes to jail.
Yes.
We're talking about Wind in the Willows,
okay,
right?
we got to move back.
I'm completely lost.
So they go to the old caravan, to their old house where he and Anastasia used to live, and he finds Rabbit's family.
Right. Yeah. Now, this is actually important, too, because we saw both the Red Queen in that caravan and we saw Will in that caravan.
Yeah.
Both of them, well, when she walked in, you saw her pink dress that she wore as Anastasia there, and you saw that moment of her kind of looking like my old life.
Yeah, you could kind of see that she wanted it.
Later on, we find out that that's what she wanted. Well, if you noticed when Will walked in, even though he
did the same thing.
Right, he rejects her later and says, "No, this isn't happening." But he must want her too because he looked at that dress and was like, "Oh my gosh, that was." But he doesn't want.
He doesn't want the Red Queen. He wants his Anastasia back.
Yeah.
Right.
he doesn't want the Red Queen.
So he wants the same thing she does.
Yeah, but she wants. Then she said she'll give up her crown. She'll give up anything. So he kind of does have Anastasia back.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
But he doesn't believe it.
no,
Yeah, right.
not yet. She'll have to do some major work to prove herself.
Yeah,
to him.
like put that dress on again and claim herself not queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where
And
did
give
Rabbit?
the job to Alice.
Oh no! she
Oh,
doesn't
you want her to be the queen?
You don't. I
What?
don't think. Alice
And then she can
wants to
say,
be.
off with your head!
So, where did Rabbit send his family?
Into my stew? No.
Rabbit sent. Wait, what did you,
Where did Rabbit send his wife and his children to keep them safe?
to his house?
To her mother's.
Right.
Oh.
And then he was able to go off and help Cyrus.
Right. Now he knows
Yeah.
she's safe and she's off with her mother. So.
Yeah.
And so
with the
they're
kids.
so Alice, White Rabbit, and Will are going to the Outlands to
Yeah.
meet Cyrus and the Queen, but they don't know that.
Right.
They think
Yeah.
they're just going to
When
go
they get
find
there, it's just a
Cyrus.
big open field, and Will.
Is like, your safe place. This is my third favorite line. Your safe place isn't too safe.
Right. It's like anybody can see you for miles around. What are you doing? And then she walks into that invisible thing and
That is
disappears.
the coolest thing.
So
Uh-huh.
cool.
I would
Which-
love that to be my house.
The other
Yeah.
really cool effect with that
I'd never get home again, but I would love it.
was when Cyrus showed up and she came running out, and you saw it from outside, and she just appears
Yes,
through
it
that
was
invisible thing
fantastic.
running up to
And
Cyrus.
she could see him, but he couldn't see her.
Yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
so great.
And so they're reunited, and then the Queen, of course, appears, and
Yeah.
she says that she worked
Literally,
with Jafar.
she just appeared.
She
Yep,
did.
she's standing behind them.
She worked with Jafar so that she could get Will back. And so then Jafar had sent the storm to find the Red Queen and kill her.
Right.
And when the lightning started to come down, she deflected it, and it took Will out.
It hit Will. And then this is really important because in an earlier episode, Alice had used one of her wishes and said to save Will, and said, if Will dies, I die.
Uh-huh.
That was a way to stop Jafar from killing him. Well,
Wait.
now Will started to die, and Alice started to die, right?
Uh-huh.
But she still had one wish left, and what happened with that? Who got to use it?
Will.
And
Why?
why did Will get to use it?
Because Al said if he helped find Cyrus, that he could have a wish.
Right. And then
And he wished for Alice's misery to go away.
Right.
Which was a very bad decision.
You think?
it was
Well,
an
her
interesting
suffering.
wish.
He actually used the word suffering.
Yeah, it was an interesting wish because when he said it, I went, "Oh no!" Because you said it too. You said that could mean she dies.
Yeah.
Her suffering is over.
Because
means she
sometimes
dies.
when we know someone has died and we say, well, they're not suffering anymore.
Right.
So we did, yeah. So Molly thought, oh, wait, that could mean that he just killed her.
Right.
Yeah.
But what happened instead? Oh my God.
This was crazy.
He turned into the genie.
Right.
Yeah.
He disappeared right there in front of the Red Queen, and she's going, "He's gone. He's gone. He disappeared." And then we see him in the bottle.
Well,
He's
first,
got the shackles
What
on
are
his.
these gold bracelet
The binds.
things?
Yes, the
And
binds.
you want to know what I think he's saying? What
Amanda
are these
binds.
gold? What are these gold bracelet thingies on my arms?
well, and you know, first though, you know, here is the Queen empty-handed. She's no
Right.
longer holding Will, and then you see
And
Cyrus and
she was very upset too. So now Alice
very
is
much.
seeing like
Uh-huh.
she is really genuinely upset.
But then you've
Uh-huh.
got Cyrus and Alice both kind of assessing each other, you know,
Yeah.
trying to figure out. And Cyrus looks down and he says, "Oh, my binds are gone."
Right.
So then they know.
Right.
Oh no.
That's
Oh,
when we see Will
No,
in the
there's
bottle with
where-
the binds
That's
on.
where Will went.
Yep.
But he's in some body of water somewhere, and he's
yeah.
going off a water, going over a waterfall.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he went to Jafar.
No,
like
no.
that.
You know what
it
I
would-
think
it would
happened? I think that when he went into the bottle goes somewhere for it to be found. It just disappears with him, so that now the next person will find him. So now they've got to find that bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Let's-
found it one. They found the other ones, and they have found this one again.
Yeah, but Jafar has been really good at finding the
Yeah,
bottles. We
they've
better
gotta
hope he doesn't
find it
find that
before.
bottle first.
He found one, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then the other
3.
bottle was, she tricked him. The queen, we didn't even talk about, that's part of the storyline, but the queen had the bottle in her chessboard.
Can I talk about the Tweedle?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Jafar looks around, like, looking for everybody. Like, where's the queen? I want to kill her. And then he sees a present for him.
Right, has his name on the top.
Jafar.
And what was in there?
And he rips it open, and the Tweedle's head was chopped off.
Right.
Saying, she's on to us.
Yes.
She's on to us.
And that happened because earlier in the episode,
Off with his head!
earlier in the episode,
The other Tweedle.
the other Tweedle was
Yeah.
listening, because we didn't even talk about any of this. Okay. She
Listening
was...
through the grapevine.
Yes,
Yes,
he
and it
picked
was
up a grapevine
literally
and he
a
heard
grapevine.
Cyrus's
Uh-huh.
voice. But while he was over there, he saw the other Tweedle and Jafar
brother.
working together.
Uh-huh.
And
he was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
my brother.
so
Right.
he runs back to
and he
the
would say in
queen
that accent.
and he says, my brother did a bad thing. And the queen had
Uh-huh.
some very funny lines.
Yeah.
But she said, considering both of your mental limitations...
This is my
This is
my
favorite
fourth-
line number 74.
4.
Wait, are you going to finish mine, or are you going to talk about this other one?
4. Number 4.
Considering you won't be able to read my writing.
Oh, I can't. Considering your both mental abilities.
No, your mental limitations.
Your mental limitations.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about because she doesn't think they're smart enough to outwit her.
Right,
and
right.
to
Favorite line and number 4 for me.
well, no, then mine comes after that. Now she says, "Now leave before I decide to kill the messenger."
Right.
So
Oh,
Which then she
5.
kills the other Tweedle.
So she's up in her room and she pulls out a chessboard box, which is why I keep thinking they're giving us. Why do they keep giving us clues that she's the Queen of Hearts? Like,
Well, no, but she's there and it's chess.
oh, so maybe she's in the Queen of Hearts castle, but she's
Right.
not really
Oh,
the Queen of Hearts.
Maybe the Queen of Hearts is the one that was married to the king.
Yes,
And
that's what
now
I'm wondering.
she's in
Sort of.
Storybrooke.
Yeah.
And this and the Queen of Hearts, or the Red Queen, is the replacement.
Yes.
For her.
Yeah.
So that's what. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm thinking.
Uh-huh.
So she opens the chessboard box and it's empty, and
never mind.
and so the queen captures Cyrus to bring him to his bottle. So
Right.
so she now knows Jafar is working against me. The Tweedle is working against me. So that's why
Uh-huh.
she had his head cut off. She knows that she's got to go get Cyrus, and she knows where the real bottle is, but she
Yeah.
knows Jafar now has her fake.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And then
she hid
Jafar
one.
figures out that it's a fake because when he picks it up, the weight is
It's
different
too light.
compared to the one with a genie in it, and he smashes
Well, no,
it.
but first he scraped it.
Oh, yeah.
And he saw she had just painted over a pattern.
Right. And then he smashes it, and that's when he takes
now
a
he's
hair
mad.
from her
Yeah.
hairbrush, and he creates that
That's how
magic.
he conjured up the storm
Yeah.
to
to
kill
make the
her.
storm.
So it would know who she was. It would know which one to kill.
That was a pretty thick blonde hair from her, too. She must use quite a shampoo.
Perhaps. She is the queen,
It was
after
like
all.
the thickness of floss. I mean, that was pretty thick.
So
Plastic.
it turns
One hair
out
for me is almost invisible.
Right.
she had the bottle hidden in her caravan, in her and Will's little house.
Right. And we saw that before we saw Rabbit's family get
Yes.
saved. It was when she went there and she pulled out the
Uh-huh.
real bottle,
So
which was much more ornate than the one that Jafar smashed.
So the
Yeah.
queen tells Cyrus, we have to go find Alice. And he says, no, I don't want you to find Alice. And she said, would you prefer to wait for Jafar to find her? Because you have two choices. Either we find her or Jafar does.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he decides that he's going to go with her.
Yeah.
And one other thing. Oh, my other favorite line.
Mhm.
When she says, I wish for you to shut up.
All right.
Favorite line number 6.
Because she says, Cyrus is telling her, I know you have a secret wish. I can tell. I can tell what people's wishes are, even if they don't say them. And she doesn't like that. She does not want him knowing her weakness. And her weakness is will.
Yeah.
And so she said, I wish for you to shut up.
And he said, what did he say?
Oh, I don't remember.
I didn't write that down. I just was laughing too hard.
He said something funny.
Did he?
No, not. It might not. He said something like, I didn't know it'd be like that, or something like that.
Right.
So, and we find out because now we know about the house in the Outlands, their little
hidden area,
hidden thing, and we now know that happened. They got that because of the caterpillar.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Cyrus went to see the caterpillar and he offered him his compass.
The caterpillar is always my favorite. I love the caterpillar.
He's not at all on mine.
So bizarre.
Yeah, I don't.
I like him.
You just like him because he's played by Iggy Pop.
Yeah, well, that certainly helps. But yeah, he's definitely a cool character in my opinion.
So he offers him.
He's definitely an evil character.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just don't like I think he's gross to look at.
Well, he is. But
he's not.
also,
I don't like how he's made.
It's just a
no
bunch of
offense to the designer. He's got. Well, I don't think we do want to talk about his balls.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a bunch of round things, circles.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bunch of
segments.
All of his segments are round.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, like a caterpillar?
It's more for me the shape of his face and everything. I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
And he doesn't even have a nose, really.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, everybody settle
So
down about
anyway,
the caterpillar.
he offers.
I like the caterpillar.
He offers the caterpillar his magic compass if he can help them disappear.
Right, and that's the solution.
And here's how he helped them disappear. He gave them a secret hideaway.
Right, like an invisible hideaway. That was so good.
So there you go. Fan-freaking-tastic episode.
Yeah, and with that
We
ending
loved
with the
it.
bottle about to go over the waterfall, and now he's
loved
the genie. I mean, this left a real cliffhanger.
So
for
now we're
this
caught
episode.
up, and in a couple of days, practically, we will get to see the
we'll get to see what happens.
next episode, because this one aired in December,
Right.
and we would have had to wait for months, but
here we are.
so we came late to the dance.
Right.
So
Here
now
we
we're
are.
right on time. So now it's
Every week
We're
we'll
not
be
gonna
watching.
have
It's
to
going to be
wait,
so
so-
fun. Well, that actually brings up a bit of business, too, because after this episode, we are going to split this off to its own show. Because up to now, it's been just Ever After, and we put Once Upon a Time and Once Upon a Time in Wonderland on one feed. Well, this is going to split. So anyone subscribing to Ever After, you're going to want to subscribe also to Ever After in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be two different shows. But the shows that are on there
it'll
are...
just be less confusing.
Are you
Right.
doing this subscription thing at the end? Because you don't normally do this in the podcast.
We're done.
We're done.
Oh, okay.
That is the podcast.
Okay.
So follow us on iTunes. You can follow us. Just look for Ever After.
A Once Upon a Time in Wonderland podcast.
Yes. Well, Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast, and going forward, Ever After in Wonderland, a Once Upon a Time in Wonderland podcast.
And Oz.
Oh,
we
no.
hope so.
We hope to.
We don't know that.
We don't
There's
know.
a teaser for Once Upon a Time that the
that I
Wicked
really
Witch
want to
is
see.
coming. Yeah. Oh, I hope they go to Oz.
Wicked, right? The Wicked is coming.
Yes. Oh, that sounds so good. You
The
can
Wicked is coming!
you can hear all our past shows at our website, which is
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
right, and you can hear our other podcasts there, and you can check out Molly's other podcast, which is Cuckoo for Who, and you can hear Geek My Kids there, which is all about geeking kids and
That sounds good.
yeah, okay. You can hear Geek My Kids there, which is a lot of fun.
And it's all about my two friends, Alex and Liam.
And sometimes
being-
Maddie, too.
And sometimes even their sister, Maddie, being geeked.
Yeah. Well, that means that
They're
Chris, their
turning-
dad, starts introducing them to all these geeky movies and TV shows. They just did one about games, and they're going to do one about music. Just lots of fun, geeky stuff.
Yeah.
So there you
know
go.
what I'm into.
Right. So there you go. You can follow me on Twitter at rsouthgate. You can also follow, Martha is tweeting from SMG Pods. So the Twitter is at SMG Pods. And you can also write to us at Gmail, which is southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. And I think that's all the business we need to cover right now. Do you guys have anything else you want to say? Other than, I can't wait for the next one.
Great.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
They have to find that bottle.
Yes.
And they have to free him.
And follow Fate the Man's lead and start sending us some feedback on Twitter and on Facebook. Oh, you can also find us on Facebook. I don't know if I said that before. But join in the conversation and get in there with us. And we love to read comments and talk about stuff. Follow us on iTunes and at Stitcher. And please give us good reviews. We need 5 stars. We need thumbs up. We need reviews galore. They just really help us. And what they really do is they help other people that don't know about these shows find them. So the more you review and give positive feedback, the more it helps us and the more it helps other people find these shows. Hopefully you're enjoying them, because I know we're loving doing them. They're fun, aren't they, Mal?
Yeah.
Marth?
Love it.
All right. Well, that's it. Let's end this like every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end. If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.